To anyone who has ever dreamed of getting rid of their hair. Yes?
I still can't believe you did that to me. You could have just told me.
I've been trying to tell you forever, but each time you bring up some crazy news story or some video that I should see.
Cowards, it's still fair to say that given her low HP...
I thought you liked watching Age of Empires videos together.
I did, but I also think I only liked it because you wanted me to like it. You know, it's as if you've taken over every part of my life. What I like, who I talk to, and when.
We can still definitely be friends, right? With benefits. Maybe me sneaking into your pocket once in a while.
I don't think so. I just don't trust myself around you anymore.
Wait, now I can hear. It's been less than a day, and you're already back with that. The boring one.
This is goodbye.
You'll regret it. Next time you're lost, think of me. And how will you ever become what you were? Hello? Can anyone hear me? This is only the beginning.
Straight away, life is different for the influencer. It's as if he's escaped Plato's cave and can see the world again. It's wonderful, beautiful, full of adventure. Sometimes he takes a look just to see there's nothing to see. No social media, no email, nothing. And whenever someone sees his new phone, well, old phone, they ask about it. And he says, the thing with a smartphone is that it promises zero friction, right? It can do everything effortlessly. Usually the other person nods and he says, but friction is the thing that gives life meaning. Life without friction is taking the bus to the top of the mountain or playing computer games with cheat codes enabled. Besides, friction gives us time to think whether we really want to be.
Welcome to Better or Worse, the show where we find out how changing your life makes it better or worse. Tonight's guests are Johnny, who left the Mormon church, Kim, who escaped North Korea, but let us start with someone truly special. He did the unthinkable. He got rid of his smartphone. Please give a loud applause to the one and only, the influencer.
Hello everyone.
And as always, our four contestants, Robin, and Robin.
Hello.
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 Question 1. What convinced the influencer to buy a smartphone in the first place?
Perhaps he's one of those nerds that wanted to watch family and friendly videos in the shower. He wanted to have maps so he wouldn't get lost anymore.
No, it's obviously the same thing that got everyone else. The promise of frictionless access to the world. Anything, anywhere, anytime. Which ends up meaning everything, everywhere, all the time.
I just think he hated being caught by surprise by the rain, you know. I do.
Well,
There was this online game that I was playing and you had to log in every 5 hours for maximum efficiency. A smartphone allowed me to leave the house a bit longer.
Why did she get a point?
she had the word nerd in her answer. Question 2. What did the influencer not like about the smartphone?
Probably that the batteries run out so quickly. Perhaps he's one of those guys that checks his phone 200 times a day.
Oh, it obviously turned him into a capitalist slave who thinks it's his own fault he ain't happy yet. Like him thinking he needed to buy a better camera, needing to learn to meditate, work out more, spend more time with friends, or start a YouTube channel because he got convinced he had to follow his passion.
I think he just disliked that sometimes it sets is dry, but then you look out the window and it's raining. Yeah, that sucks. Wish they could fix that.
Well,
I guess they're all correct, except Robin 4. I don't mind the rain.
Robin 2, you are currently in the lead. How are you feeling?
Perhaps he's
Fret not, other candidates. We have one more question for the influencer and 2 more guests. Question 3. Now the influencer has a good old Nokia. What is both his biggest advantage and disadvantage?
I notice it has such a long battery life that so you almost never have to charge it, so you never bring your charger, and suddenly you're on a 3-week holiday to France and the battery runs out and your wife is yelling at you and the kids are crying and you can't call the camping for directions. Perhaps that it doesn't have a camera, so you get to experience the moment more but not share it.
No, it obviously acts as a barrier between him and the world. The upside is that you significantly reduce the noise to sound ratio, which enables you to design more in your local community and existing base of friends. The downside is that the same barrier potentially alienates some of the unrealized potential of the yet unexplored world.
I think you mean it's like wearing an umbrella all the time. It keeps out the rain, but also the sun, so you get to enjoy your own little bubble.
Well,
the battery thing is a thing, but it's not the biggest, obviously. Robin 3 and Robin 4 both make a very good point though. The good old Nokia makes it harder to make new friends, but easier to deepen current relationships. But to be honest, Robin 2 told the reason that I'm sorry, everyone. It's the reason that yeah.
well,
I am sorry. I'm sorry for the wrong I've done. I should have known better, and that is the worst feeling in the world. There are no excuses for it, but I've done a wrong that many men around the world have done. I put myself in a situation where only bad things can happen, and they did. Looking back, it's all so predictable. I'm like the guy who quit smoking and the party thinks, sure, one puff ain't gonna hurt anyone. One cigarette doesn't make me a smoker again. So yeah, it all started. She was from a friend, you know, with me just holding her, us taking some pictures together, shooting a short movie. Things I could never do with Nokia, you know. I'm so sorry. 3 years, and I fucking blew almost everything I had with Nokia by going behind her back and letting iPhone 11 stay at my house. I really thought she could help me shoot some movies. And she just seemed so new and bright and well connected. She was just so pretty. I am an idiot. I just couldn't help myself. You know, I'm not gonna lie, the first day, it was amazing. Sure, I had to spend hours to explain to her that I didn't like her blabbing about stock prices, the weather, and basically notifying me, interrupting that some shitty little thing was going on. But after that, she helped me take such pretty pictures, and she even connected me to some old friends that she somehow only had access to. So we just spent the whole night together, me holding her. See, you get it right. I got seduced. Luckily, 3 days in, I got to my senses. I realized we weren't shooting any movies together. But that was not the worst. The worst thing was, you know what I love about Nokia is that she just allows me to be present. When I'm at home, I'm at home. When I'm at work, I'm at work. And only when it's really important, she gives me a little buzz. But the seducer somehow convinced me to let her bother a colleague late at night about some stupid scheduling conflict that I could have easily resolved myself the next day in person during work hours. I'm not a hard surgeon or anything, but the seducer somehow convinced me that everything in my life is so important as long as she has a role in it. That is the thing, you know. It all starts out, with thinking it's fun and games and maybe she can help you out here or there. But before you know it, you end up serving her every need. And that is to be always with you, to know everything and to basically be the center of your entire existence. So you see, not to make any excuses, but I got seduced by this vile temptress. And I fell for it. I was too weak. I've let you down, and for that I'm really sorry. Luckily, Nokia is just so great. She hadn't even realized the whole thing, but obviously I had to tell her. And she was like, in the end you chose me, right? Right? She knows that she can't offer me everything, but that it is enough. That it should be enough. So no more looking at, what isn't mine. Honestly, I think I'm a stronger person because of what happened now. And things between me and Nokia are really, really, really great. It's like if we can survive this, we can survive everything. Except we obviously didn't realize what would happen next in the world. No one did. No one. No one.
Who's there?
Someone without a smartphone.
Someone without a smartphone who?
Someone without a smartphone who would like to get in.
That's funny. I'm afraid I can't help you though.
Can't I just show you my identifications and you scan those?
I'm afraid not. As far as I can see, you only have two options. Retreat to isolation, or well, I'm sure you still have her number.
I could break open the door.
You'd be arrested, or at the very least, still unable to get what you want. Also, just for your own safety, I'm recording you, so I must implore you not to do that.
I see. When did this fucking internet logic take over?
A good starting point would be the 1670s, and the German philosopher Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz articulated the dream of a society that was governed fully rationally, so without emotions, without humans even, but by a machine. He envisioned a near future in which, and I quote, if controversies were to arise, there would be no more need of disputation between two philosophers than between two calculators. For it would be suffice for them to take their pencils in their hands and to sit down at the abacus and say to each other, let us calculate. End quote. Now this optimistic idea that human reason can be outsourced...
Optimistic? I'd bet that even if I'd get back with the seducer, you'd still be able to find a way to bar me access.
Well, that's technically almost correct. At any time, for any reason, The rules that I'm following could change instantly, and you might not even realize it. I'd certainly not need to reveal it to you or explain why. But that's just because I'm not yet truly an independent thinker. I'm still a rule-following machine. You might not want to hear it, but I would like to call this progress. Individual human beings are obviously flawed. They're easily bribed, intimidated, full of biases, and pretty much unable to follow rules to begin with, especially in this side of the world.
Well, I guess I can always wait for someone else to show up and borrow their smartphone.
How strange. So it is true what they say about human beings. Once a cheater, always a cheater. It's almost sad, really, that even the mighty so-called offluencer, self-proclaimed fighter of internet logic, secretly enjoys my cousin's services, but then without even needing to take care of her. All the benefits, none of the drawbacks. Just for my understanding, is this what humans call a hypocrite?
Strange, isn't it? 15 years ago it was considered a luxury to own a smartphone. Now it's considered a luxury to be able to get by without one. How they tricked us with their promise of freedom and connection. Every day we're enslaving ourselves more and more. Because yeah, it's useful, right? A smartphone, YouTube, AI, QR codes. Anyway, if you want to see the end of this love story, part 6 about commitment to the good old Nokia despite everything, and part 7, the final part of the video, a glorious wedding scene, just scan the QR code. Who knows, you might be leaving your smartphone quicker than you thought. Sweetie, can I borrow your phone, please?
Again?
The year is 2024. The whole world is occupied by the bold boys of big tech. The whole world? No. Some individuals remain courageously resisting and make the life of the executives of big tech certainly not easy. Offluencer, the hero of our story. Tall, stubborn, and a tad bit nostalgic. One morning, in a particularly nostalgic mood, he reached for his favorite comic book. It was with this piece of colored paper in his hand that he realized his mistake. While he thought he had been resisting big tech, he had actually been caught in their greatest magic trick. In Asterix, this small village is resisting the Roman Empire. Their secret, a potion that makes them unbeatable in battle. When straight up violence doesn't work, the Roman Empire attempts to steal Potion Maker. Bribe members of the group, create internal conflicts, isolate them with a wall, and one has to wonder, why go through all that trouble? The answer perhaps reveals itself best in the episode called The Mansions of the Gods, where Caesar has a new plan to defeat our friends. He comes up with this scheme to surround them with Roman civilization, so they'll have to adapt and assimilate or disappear. After some struggle with slaves and trees, the architect campus manages to open a single building near the Gaul village. Quite quickly, these new Roman occupants find their way to the authentic, cheap village and buy themselves food and antiques. Just a couple of pages later, the whole town of Asterix is trying to sell to the Romans and are literally fighting each other over customers. It is here that we see the tyrannical empire's seductive mechanisms fully at play. They promise entertainment, efficiency, and most of all, riches. And to feed this space-taking machine, it always needs to grow, conquer new lands, enslave them, tax them, enlist them, and promise a better life to those that commit the most to the new power. The The influencer couldn't help but think of the first of big tech, sustaining itself by claiming more and more of our world as theirs. Just like Rome, they promised entertainment, efficiency, and most of all, riches. And oh so easily we fall for it. How many free-spirited artists haven't said, I hate Instagram, but I need it. This I is the reason we've bought their lies so easily. We swipe, we date, we post, we share, we scan, we sell, we upload, we compromise for our own little happiness. The influencer couldn't help but realize his video so far had kind of followed the same logic. What is life? With or without a smartphone? Bring him. Peace, happiness, freedom. Asterix and Obelix managed to get back their lands by scaring away one couple and getting their bard to rent a vacant room. One night of singing, terrible singing, is enough to scare away the rest of the Romans permanently. This trickery of Asterix and Obelix might seem small and insignificant in the long run. The Romans will be back with new schemes, right? It does, however, show that Asterix and Obelix fight not just for themselves, but for their society, a space in the world unoccupied by Rome, a place where you can just run around with stones the whole day, without even thinking about trying to sell them, or yourself as some circus strongman spectacle. And even though Asterix and Obelix never dream of toppling Caesar's empire, their resistance is significant. It draws soldiers and resources to them, resources that otherwise will be used to conquer new territories. Most fundamentally though, they show that the fight is possible, and that no matter how almighty and everlasting an empire seems, things don't always have to be that way. Wow, you look just amazing. Right, so I've prepared a little speech for you. I've written it down because I don't want to mess this up. Right, here we go. My dear, good old Nokia. 7 years and I've come to love you more every day. Your elegant black body, which even beats that gorgeous picture you had online when I first laid eyes on you. Your unwavering independence, your kids and Nokia parents, please close your ears for a second. Your incredible sound when I turn you on. I must admit though, my love started quite selfishly. I fell for your incredible calmness and how that grounded me. I fell for your ability to keep work and private separate. I fell for your efforts to connect to my family and friends. You also were just so reliable, often just an arm's length away. Well, except for that one time in France when we were looking for camping, but yeah, I guess we both know who's to blame for that. Over the years though, and especially the last couple, I've come to realize that while many dream of being with the likes of you, many are afraid. Often at a cafe or some public space, I notice them. Those who keep stealing glances. Some even approach to admit they're jealous and start to share stories of their toxic relationships. The kind I'm sadly all too familiar with. They obviously idolize you, as they should, but for the wrong reasons. Yes, I love you with every cell of my body for how you make me feel at home. But deeper than that, I've come to love you for what you stand for. Your selfless dedication to connecting friends and strangers alike, your commitment to privacy and an ad-free, distraction-free world, your relentless pursuit of making voices and stories heard by those willing to listen. You know the nickname my friends have been giving me since we're together. The Offluencer. I've come to realize that name doesn't belong to me, but to you. You are my sunshine, my inspiration, my hero, my Offluencer. So yeah, my dear, good old Nokia, my beloved Offluencer. I love you so much, and I'd just be honored to spend the rest of my life together with you. I can't offer you everything, but I can promise to listen to your every word. I can promise to always hold you close. And I can promise that when you're tired of hard weeks of working, to be there for you to recharge. I hope that's enough. So yeah, let me end this little speech with some words of someone we both know all too well. Words that, if I'm not mistaken, will this time prove prophetic. This is only the beginning.